Good day, everybody. It's Trent Klarenbach with Klarenbach Research. Today is May the 21st, 2025. And I want to look at some currency pairs today. We'll look at the USD, we'll look at CAD, and we will look at the euro. So the first chart here is the weekly chart of the USD CAD chart here. It's the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, and you can see that really had that strong rally in the USD relative to the Canadian dollar back here in February. This red candle here was basically Sunday night following Trump's tariff announcement, and but since then we saw the Canadian dollar strengthening relative to the US dollar. And you will remember in the printed form of our reports, we've been calling for a return back to this 138, 139 level for months now. Probably I'll be back in maybe November, December. We started talking about that. Why is that? Because these resistance levels are often retested on the breakouts. We had four tests. The fifth test we broke above this resistance level. And now we're coming back down and we're testing it again. I'd say the first time or the second time even. Here we're testing it again. And often we find some support here. So we could see some strengthening in the US dollar relative to the Canadian dollar. We are below this green 50-week moving average. We have this purple 200-week moving average down below. Now, I don't get too bullish anything below 50-week moving average. Although 50-week moving average is rising, we are trading below it. And we're trading at this resistance level. So I really want to see how the price reacts to this level over the next couple of weeks before I get into any form of bullish sentiment or bearish sentiment. We look at the daily chart. And again, a few more wiggles and squiggles on here. The daily chart is below this 200-day moving average represented by the purple line. The 50-week moving average, the 50-day moving average is crossing the 200-day moving average. And what is known as the death cross. That's the death cross. Now, often you see a reaction to that. Death cross means that it's crossing, the 50 is crossing below the 200, and often you see a sell-off in the security at that time. Now, the chance of that happening is greater when the price is close to that crossover point. I would say we're somewhat far away from it at the moment, so I don't think we're going to see a rapid sell-off in the US dollar here in the next day or two. But I don't like anything below a 200-day moving average, and this Paul Tudor Jones has been quoted as saying, is nothing good happens below a 200-day moving average, and that's where we're at right now. So I'm kind of, I don't know what's going to happen with these two currencies, but being a Canadian, I like to think our dollar is going to strengthen, and I think it will, but we're not seeing any evidence of that continuing at the moment. We really want to see if we get a new low below 137.67, and then I think we can have strength in that conviction. Let's take a look at USD versus the euro here. Again, we're seeing, this is a bearish chart, right? So we're seeing the US dollar weakening against the euro. And yeah, we found some support at this previous level of interest down here. We came back up and retested this previous support level, and now we're trading back but down below it. So I think this thing could go sideways for a while before it goes lower. Our moving averages are still quite a ways above the current price, and I think we'll have a retest of those moving averages before we move lower. But right now, this is what I call a bearish chart, but I do anticipate we could get a retest up here around that 92.92 level. The daily chart, again, we're below the 50 and the 200-day moving average. There's nothing here that makes me get bullish the USD EUR pair. Let's take a look at CAD Euro. Again, let's go back to the weekly chart here. This is a bullish or bearish chart also. The Canadian dollar is weakening relative to the euro. But we are finding this support here at this previous support level. And we did talk about that. Remember a couple weeks ago that we identified we could find some support here. We're finding that at the moment. And right now it's kind of moving sideways, probably waiting for these moving averages to catch up to the price on the weekly chart. The daily chart, we got back above this 50-day moving average, which, gives you some glimmer of hope. It's starting to flatten out. If you look closely, it's starting to flatten out. The price is trading below there, but I would not be shocked if we get a rally in the CAD Euro Pair, a rally back up from current levels at 63, 65, get back up to that 66 level, maybe 65. That's just kind of the way these things work. Maybe come back to this resistance, previous support here, the 65, 69 level, or 66 level. So not really a whole lot to show on these three charts, but these three pairs. But I mean, we just kind of need more time to get confirmation of a continuation of the downtrend or the uptrend. My name is Trent Klarenbach. Sunny in Saskatoon. Life's good.